Hey everybody. I have made a number of videos in the past explaining the relationship between interest rates, which are set by the central bank, and the currency in question. Now, the mainstream view, the wrong view, is that higher interest rates strengthen the currency and lower interest rates weaken the currency. And I have explained in the past in several videos why that is not correct. I mean, the relationship between, first of all, speaking in terms of rate adjustments, you know that I have explained to you the way to think of rate adjustments are price adjustments. So if rates go up, that is a general increase in prices. The government is a net payer of interest. It is a fiscal expansion. It is therefore, it is inflationary, all else equal, and it is therefore negative for the currency. There's no logical reason for the currency to fetch a higher exchange rate when it is being inflated, all right? And vice versa with rate cuts. Rate cuts constitute the net removal of income. It is also a price cut, price adjustment lower. So the currency, in essence, buys more. So that is reflected in the foreign exchange value as a higher exchange rate. Okay, people get this wrong all the time. And if you want to see an example of this, and I think I've shown you many examples, you know, the dollar being one recently with the 4 rate hikes of the Federal Reserve, the dollar has fallen over that period. Remember, coming into this year and even last year, a lot of people were so bullish on the dollar based on the Fed rate hike outlook, and I said that was not going to happen, that the dollar was going to go down, and I was right. You had people like Jim Rogers, they're printing money, who was all bullish on the dollar last year. I said he was going to be wrong. I had some of you people here who have come on my channel saying, oh, Mike, you don't know what you're talking about. Jim Rogers, he's great. He was wrong, okay. But if you want to see another great example of this, and I did make a video, several videos last year about the Russian ruble, when the ruble peaked out in late 2015 at about 80 ruble to the U.S. dollar. Remember, there was in 2014, you had the whole thing with Crimea, and then the sanctions were imposed, and the Russian central bank, they were all worried about ridiculous capital flight. There's no such thing, by the way. All right, capital can't flee anywhere. All dollars, if they're talking about dollars, all dollars exist on the books of the Federal Reserve. All rubles exist on the books of the Central Bank of Russia. That never changes. But anyway, they started jacking up interest rates. And what happened? The ruble fell. It went from like 60 to the dollar up to 80. When the Bank of Russia stopped jacking up interest rates in early 2016 and actually started to cut, the ruble started to appreciate. It went from about 80, and we've had several rate cuts, which according to the mainstream of economics, and most of you people here, not my people, you who are not part of my SEAL Team 6 group, you would argue that the ruble should have collapsed, but in fact it has appreciated about 25% in this over that period of time. Despite several rate cuts by the Bank of Russia, they brought it down almost in half from about, more than half actually. I think they jacked it up to about 18%, the interest rate at the peak, which tanked the ruble. Now it's down to 8.5%, and the ruble has been the strongest currency against the U.S. dollar in spite of the fact that the U.S. has been piling sanction after sanction onto Russia. So there you go, United States. It's the dollar that's getting weak as a result of your sanctions, not the ruble. So I made videos on this last year. We have seen a number of rate cuts, a halving of the interest rate, more than a 50% reduction in the interest rate in Russia. And the ruble has been the strongest currency in the world against the U.S. dollar over that period of time, up almost 26%. So, and folks, I give these examples all the time. People still say that higher rates are going to quash inflation. even though you can just go back to the point in time when the Fed started to raise rates, which was in December 2015, and you could literally see the inflation start to go higher. Now, it's not running away inflation because the Fed has been very, very hesitant or slow in its rate hikes. If it speeds it up, believe me, the inflation impulse will accelerate. But it has gone up. I mean, it's irrefutable that it has gone up. So anyway, you can go back. I think probably it was sometime around, actually, if you go on this channel here, on my channel, you just search the search term Ruble, you will see I said buy Ruble. Buy Ruble. You could also buy Russian stock indices. There are several. In fact, I had a recommendation that we did make money on that. But there you have it, folks. Another example. That's how it works. That's how it works. You could choose to believe it, or you could choose not to believe it. Same thing with making money. Okay, you could choose to win, as my team does, or you can choose to lose, as most of the rest of you do. All right, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.